Hey, Kyle here. You've made it. We are moving into the fifth and final video of our How to Study the Bible series. We're looking at the last letter in the acronym COMA, the A, which stands for application. Another way to think about the A is action. We want you to go from that general principle to specific action. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Be specific. Be specific. And if I can say it one more time right here at the outset, be specific as we seek to apply God's word to our everyday life. And so it's really important that you have that personalized summary statement ready to go as you hit this step. So as we look to answer the questions associated with A, we have to be willing to reflect on our life. And this is really difficult because it's easy to stay general about what, we should do that. It's another thing entirely to internalize the meaning and then act on it accordingly. And so we have to be specific. Where does this general principle really force us into action? And where does this general principle begin to motivate us to live differently? And so the first question, here's these words again, how does this meaning inspire specific action in my life? And so here are a couple areas of your life that you might have to look at the specifics of with the general principle. So think about your relationship with your spouse. If you have kids, what about the relationship with your kids? How about being an employee or being a boss? Your finances, where you spend your leisure time, how you interact with neighbors on your street, how you interact with your church, and also how you interact with God. And so what we want to ask is a couple follow-up questions about the specific action in your life. So, does this general principle, moving towards specific action, confirm a godly habit and encourage you? Because that passage could do that. It could say, keep going. You're doing good. Just keep persevering in this way. But more likely, it's going to challenge and convict you. It's going to point out an area where you're not living up to Jesus's standard. And what we have to do in that moment is choose action over inaction. And so this requires serious introspection and a serious look at who Jesus is and what he has done for you. And we looked at that a little bit in the meaning letter. And so you're going to need God to point these areas of your life out to you. And once you've identified something, you're going to move to the next step of this letter. I want you to try an I will statement. This would include where, when, and how. And so let me give you an example. If the general statement was to love your neighbor, and I go to meaning of I am supposed to love my neighbor, to being specific, in order to love my neighbor, I have to know my neighbor. Therefore, I will go meet my neighbor, knock on their door, drop them off something, introduce myself. And so you see how I went from a general my neighbor standpoint to a specific action where I will go meet my neighbor. And then once you have this I will statement, you want to share it with someone. And so that they can ask you about it and they can hold you accountable so that you will keep doing what you have said that you would do as you read God's word. And when you use COMA, you will go from reading to understanding to integrating God's word into every aspect of your life, where you live, work, and play. The more you learn and apply with the help of God, you will get to know more about Jesus, because he shows us what God is like and what true humanity truly looks like. And so we hope this video equips you to read the Bible so that you can become a better follower of Jesus in your everyday life. Make sure you hit subscribe to our Generations Church channel so you can stay equipped as we expand God's family because of Jesus for generations to come.